Building an application is one thing and keeping it healthy in production is another. In this video, we will explore an ASP.NET Core health check and learn how to monitor databases, external API, and critical dependency so that we can detect failure before our users do. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you guys know that I am creating a playlist where I am explaining you a step-by-step process to create a production grade .NET Core backend API, and this video is the part 8 of that playlist. I've already recorded 7 videos where we cover topic like like setting up a project using a clean architecture and other things. Please watch that as well. The link will be in the description. Now let's come back to our topic. Why do we really need a health check? And in order to understand this, we have to understand one concept. Let's say this is my current server setup where my APIs are deployed on 3 different servers: API server 1, 2, and 3. All these servers are behind a load balancer, and whenever a client is making a call to my API, my request first reach to my load balancer, and then depending upon the availability of a server, my load balancer will evenly distribute the traffic to all the API servers. This is a pretty much common standard setup which we normally do in a production application. Also, all these API servers are connecting to a same database. Now, the question is, this load balancer job is to transfer the request to a relevant server. But how does this load balancer will even come to know that any of the API server is up and running? It might be possible that a connection between this API server and the database is broken. It might be possible that this API server might got restarted automatically because of some patching work, because of some network issue. And in that case, if a load balancer will make a call to this API server, that will basically hung that request and the client will have to wait, and that will be a very bad user experience. So how we can fix this? And the simple approach to fix this issue is using a health check endpoint. Now a health check endpoint is simpler endpoint which can be easily navigated by .health, and this health check endpoint will be invoked by a load balancer at a fixed interval, let's say 5 seconds. So whenever a load balancer will make a call to this health check endpoint at a 5-second interval, and if this health check endpoint gives a 200 response to this load balancer, it simply means that a server is up and running and it is actually available to serve the request. We can implement this approach in a .NET Core ecosystem in a very easy way with the help of middleware. If you want to implement a health check in a .NET Core ecosystem, all you have to do is just to go to your program.cs and add 2 lines of code. My first line of code will be something like this, where we write down builder add health check. It's an inbuilt property, inbuilt functionality in a .NET Core backend API. And we also have to use another thing over here to write down app.map health checks. And this map health check, I'm going to pass the exact URL which I really want to invoke. And let's say I'll give this name as health. And then I'll run this application. So once I run this application, once I start my application, it will build my entire source code. And once my Swagger is up and running, you will notice that I'll remove the Swagger part. And if I write down a simple health, see, it's giving me an healthy. This simply means that yes, my APIs are up and running, and it give me, and it can be actually able to serve the request. Now this endpoint is something which you can actually use in your load balancer setting. But if you notice, this application, the one that we are currently building, is also dependent on a database over here. Right now I can see that yes, my app is up and running, but it might be possible that this app is up and running, but this database connection is broken. It might be possible that the network which is used to connect to my database is broken. That will give a false expectation, or I can say a false feedback to my load balancer. Although my API servers are up and running, but it is not completely fine, because in simple terms, even if a request come to my API server, and because if my database connection is broken, nothing will work. Now, how we can fix this? We can fix this by extending the functionality of my health check. And in .NET Core ecosystem, it is again very easy. I can check my health check functionality via my external API call, via my database, via my anything else. So let's say if I want to check whether my database is up and running, then how we can do this? In very simple approach, what we have to do is we have to stop our application first and then navigate to my NuGet packages, and we have to add one NuGet package. And this NuGet package is only responsible for checking the health of my databases if you're working with an entity framework core, likewise in our case. I'm going to add a package with the name as microsoft.entityframeworkcore.diagnostic.healthcheck.entity-framework-core. That is an inbuilt package which you can download it into your current solution. Once I download this and apply it in my current application with this one, I need to basically use a different version number of it. So let's use 10.0.7 because all of my other packages are using the same version. So let's say if I apply this and if I accept it, you will notice that this particular NuGet package is a part of my API project. Now, the next step which I have to do is I have to simply go to the place where I'm registering my DB context, and I am doing this inside my dependency injection file. And in this file, in this particular place, I am injecting my DB context. So I will write it down services dot add DB context, add health check, add health checks, and then add DB context check. And this is an inbuilt mechanism. This is an inbuilt process in an entity framework core, which will actually do a bare minimum check to my database. Because see, why it is required. You can actually write a very complex query as well to check whether my database is up and running, but that is not recommended because because the load balancer is going to make that health check endpoint in a very frequent interval, and if you frequently put a load to your database, that will further downgrade the performance of application. So that's why whenever I'm doing a health check, I have to keep in mind that whatever functionality I'm performing as a health check should not put any additional load to my servers. And this is an inbuilt NuGet package which you can add, and that will perform a very bare minimum functionality. Now, once I add this NuGet package and once I put it down the line, it will actually start checking my database as well. Okay. And this will give me an option whether my database is up and running. Now, the second thing is if I go to program.cs and initially you notice that I'm only returning a single point, which is my failure or unhealthy, I want to further improvise it. So in my map health check method or this middleware, I can further improvise my response type, and I can write it down new health check options. And inside this new health check options, I am going to modify my response. So I'm going to say a response writer, and inside this async, I'm going to pass my current context, and I'm going to another variable name as report. Then I'm going to modify my responses. So we'll first say that context dot response dot content type, and this content type will be my application slash JSON because I am returning a JSON from my ecosystem. Then I'll use the real response. So where response is equals to new, and over here I'm going to use an anonymous type, and I'm going to provide the status first, and status will be my report dot status, and this report dot status is an inbuilt process. Okay, dot to string. So whether it will be an healthy, unhealthy, whatever it is, it will be provided to me. Then I'm going to provide a total duration, which is actually required to do this health check, because that you also should remember that how much time it is taking to do a health check. Because if you have these numbers now, you can actually define a definition of a health check and you can write it down that whether we have to do it too frequently or we can just slow it down. Total duration, then dot total milliseconds, maybe not in nanoseconds but in milliseconds. Then the third part which I'm going to write it down is my checks and what exactly I'm doing. So in my checks part, I'm basically using report dot entries dot select and entry. Then I'm going to write it down a new again, and inside this I will write down which entry I have done. So in this particular one, I'm only checking my database entries. I'll write down entry dot key, then its status, and its status will be my entry. So we'll write down this need to be fixed actually. This is not the lambda. So we'll write down entry dot value dot status dot toString. I'm also going to further improvise my responses. And the third part which I want to include in this, my duration. And again, the duration will be entry dot value dot duration, and then amount, the total milliseconds, how long will it take. Then I'm going to write down description, any description which I really want to give, and it will be my entry dot value, and then post that description. And finally, I'm going to write it down, my exception, or maybe we can just live with this much data only, but you can further improvise it if required. Then I can simply collapse this, and I'm going to collapse over here as well, and then finally over here. Okay, and then I'm going to write it down, my different parts. So I'm going to say app context, or maybe await, then context. Let's fix this first. Actually, this is not correct. So this got collapsed over here, then we have used this, and then we have to write something over here. So await context dot response dot write async, and inside this write async I'm going to provide JSON serialize, and inside this JSON serializer I'm going to use serialize attribute, and then I'm going to pass my response which we have built on the top, and then I'm going to use new JSON serializer option, and inside this JSON serializer options I'm going to simply pass that I want to write this message as intended, right? So that it should be in a proper shape, and give it as true. And then let's close everything. So this will be something like this, right? And I hope there is no such issue. Now with this bare minimum amount of code, and if you want, you can actually move it to separate class file as well. I can run my API, I can run my entire application, and then check the response of my health check. So if I proceed further and I'll navigate back to my Swagger, and the moment I provide another the same endpoint, which means my health, it should give me a detailed message. And see, my status is healthy, and my checks are my DB context, and this is healthy, and this is the time frame which is actually allocated, which is really required to do this health check. Now let's play with it. And what I can do is I am actually using a Docker container to connect to my database, and I'm going to stop my container itself, so that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mimic the functionality where the particular server is not able to connect to my database. And once that is done, and if I again refresh this health check, you will notice that this time the status which I'll get will be unhealthy, and it will simply say that my this to do appdb context is an unhealthy, right? So you can see it's waiting for something, it's trying to connect to my database, and because my database is not running, it simply give me an error message saying that your status is unhealthy and the to do the appdb context is not correcting properly, right? So in this way, what we can do, we can simply make sure that yes, my database is not up and running, and we have to fix this, right? You have to implement this health check endpoint, and the API servers on which this particular is implemented, they will give the proper response. Now this is not the it. You might have want to implement something else as well. Maybe you want to implement an external API, and we have to figure it out whether the external API is up and running or not. Let's take a simple example that I have a functionality in my API server, and this functionality is required to send an email. It's recommended, it might be possible that you are sending an email and you are using an external third-party provider, maybe called as SendGrid. Now, whether to understand whether SendGrid is up and running or not, or whether it might be possible that my API server is up and running, my database connection is up and running, but my SendGrid is down. Even in that case as well, we need to inform our support team that some of the component of this API server is not working, and that can be easily done with the health check as well. But for any other custom health check, what you have to do is you have to just go with Microsoft documentation and write down. So the moment you write it down, you will actually navigate to my official ASP.NET Core website, and this website simply suggests that a basic part can be done by the one that we just did. But if you really want to do something complex, then start creating a separate class file like this one and inherit the class file with iHealthCheck. Okay. In this way, you can actually make a call to any external API as well, just to make sure whether that API is up and running or not. If you want me to create a separate video explaining the concept of making a health check to a separate API call, then do let me know. I will post another video in my YouTube channel which will simply help you out to understand how to configure a health check for external API and then how can we modify the responses of that as well. I think this is it for this video, guys, in which we have covered how to implement a health check in .NET Core ecosystem. The entire code base, whatever we have done so far, will be available in my GitHub, and the link of that repo will be added in the comment section of this video. Please take a clone of this code if you really required so, and please like, share, subscribe to my channel. This will really keep me motivated to record a new videos for you. Thank you.